Once again tonight, AEW gave us 2 hours of a great pro wrestling show. What is going on, you guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. A great show for AEW tonight. A lot of great things happening on the show. We had Cody and Jimmy Havoc. We then saw Jake Roberts cut a vignette, a tease between Jon Moxley and Jake Hager. We'll talk about that. The Exalted One made his debut tonight. We saw a great Mega World Championship match for the AAA World Championship between Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega, and we saw the confrontation that everybody was talking about today between Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy. How did that go out? Well, how'd you think it went out, man? It went above expectations, and it was fantastic television that will entertain you for 15 minutes. We're going to talk about all of that right here on the AEW Dynamite review tonight. Thank you guys for joining me on this review. In a very busy time for the Big Fight for this channel. Lots of videos, mostly every single week. We're doing videos right here on the Big Fight Field channel, so you got to keep up with the content. Watching the Monday Night Raw review that I did this past week, talking about Randy Orton accepting Edge's challenge to a last man standing match at WrestleMania. Last week's news and rumors with WrestleMania being taped. It was taped today. Night 2 will be taped tomorrow. I have heard no spoilers today, and now we'll say no spoilers on this channel. So, no spoilers for WrestleMania. Make sure you guys go check out last week's SmackDown review as well, right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Go check out all of those videos. And man, I want to get right into it, man. I want to get right into it. We started off the evening with Cody versus Jimmy Havoc. Cody was on the commentary table with Tony Schiavone and Kenny Omega. JR was not there tonight. Neither was Excalibur. They said they are both doing fine. There was just travel issues, and they couldn't make it to the show. JR was home at Oklahoma, and he was live tweeting during the show. Excalibur, he was live tweeting as well. They are both fine. They are not sick, so don't believe that. So we started off this night with Cody and Jimmy Havoc. Decent match, I think. It was slow in the beginning. Jimmy Havoc has not been on Dynamite since the second week Dynamite launched, and he's been appearing on AEW Dark. He's been one of the main talents on AEW Dark, and like a few weeks ago, I didn't watch AEW Dark every week, so I have not really seen Jimmy Havoc. I mean, I guess I watched a few matches of him on Dark, but besides that, I haven't watched Jimmy Havoc in a while, and it looks like he got really better with his technical wrestling, and it's something really good to see, because these two were very technical with each other in the beginning. Havoc going after the left elbow of Cody for a few minutes, and then them two fighting on the outside of the barricade. This was a hard-hitting match. Cody told a story of selling his left elbow, and at the end, Cody got 2 crossroads in on Jimmy Havoc. The second crossroads looked brutal, and Jimmy Havoc landed right on top of his head, but Cody got the win, and this was nothing too special. This was a decent match. It was nice to see Jimmy Havoc back on AEW television, and my boy Cody got the win, so that's awesome. But then we saw a promo from Jake Roberts sitting in front of a fire, and he was talking about AEW launched last January. They were going to give the fans and the people what they want. And Jake Roberts says he has to argue about that because he hasn't given Lance Archer what he wants. All Lance Archer does is he wants an opportunity. Um, he wants a match with Cody just once. He can bring his one-hit pony Arn Anderson. He can bring Brandy. And I remember Jake Roberts said something about Brandy. I don't remember. I retweeted it from. Here we go. Jake Roberts just called Brandy the Monica of Cody's Bill Clinton. So that was a great line from Jake Roberts. And the challenge has been laid down for Lance Archer and Jake Roberts. Lance Archer with Jake Roberts to face Cody. And Cody then went back on the commentary table. He said, in AEW, you have to start all the way from the bottom up. I know Lance is a great talent. I've seen his work in Japan. He's a great wrestler. And heck, we'll give him a match next week on AEW Dynamite. Lance Archer is going to debut next week on AEW Dynamite if we get a show. They didn't announce any matches, which is very weird for next week. But if we do have a show next week, Lance Archer will make his debut for AEW. That should be awesome. Great promo by Jake Roberts, man. He has been killing it in this role with Lance Archer. It was all the old school guys like Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts has been killing it as the manager of Lance Archer, and Lance Archer is already a big name in AEW, and he's going to look like a star when he has his match against Cody. And I could see that match happening at Double or Nothing 2 if that doesn't get canceled. Kip Sabian versus Darby Allin. This was a great match between Kip Sabian and Darby Allin. Darby Allin, I mean, what can you say about the guy? The man is unbelievable. Great wrestler. So is Kip Sabian. Cody was on commentary for this one, and the best thing about this was how much Cody was putting over Darby Allin and putting over Kip Sabian. He says he compared Darby to a younger version of Sting, which was a very nice thing to hear from Cody, and talk about how Darby's a counter wrestler and Kip is a very hard hater. It's probably that UK style, that British wrestling style that Kip Sabian has, that he brings to AEW. And he had a tough time with Kip Sabian in his match on Dynamite back at January 29th. That was a really good match between Kip Sabian and Darby Allin. At the end, Darby won with, I don't remember what they called it. I don't remember. But it was some weird roll-up move, and Darby got the win, and I would not be surprised if we see these guys in the ring again, and it could be in a tournament for a mid-card title. I can honestly see these guys going at it again soon when AEW announces a tournament, hopefully soon, to crown the first ever mid-card champion. Heck, that could possibly be the championship match for the first ever AEW mid-card champion. Kip Sabian versus Darby Allin. We'll see. Jake Hager was in action against Chico Adams, probably somebody from the independent scene who AEW is given an opportunity to. They did that on Dark this week, which was very, very nice thing for Tony Khan and Cody to do, giving the indie talent shine on AEW Dark. But Jake Hager won in like a minute. against this guy. Looked very dominant. Cody put him over on commentary again. Talk about his Oklahoma style wrestling and how big his legs are and how flexible he is and how dangerous he looks. But then after the match, Jon Moxley returned and he gave Jake Hager a paradigm shift. And then Jake Hager caught him in the ankle lock. And the two were brawling. And Jake Hager walked away. He walked away from Jon Moxley. And Moxley's calling for him back. He says he's being a coward. And Cody was like, we've been praising Jake Hager during this match, and now he decides to walk away from Jon Moxley. It's a shame to see. He said it's a shame. And then Moxley cuts a promo in the back saying that Jake Hager in the Inner Circle took out Jon Moxley, and Moxley's back for revenge on the Inner Circle and Jake Hager. And next time they see each other, Moxley is going to put Hager on a stretcher. So are we teasing a Jake Hager, Jon Moxley AEW World Championship in a stretcher match? I would not mind that. I really would not mind to see that happen. Could that possibly happen at Double or Nothing? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It could be on a future episode of AEW Dynamite, or it could be at Double or Nothing. We'll have to wait and see. But that looks like the direction they're going. It looks like they're going for Jake Hager versus Jon Moxley. The Exalted One, Brody Lee, had a match with QT Marshall. But before that, there's a video package with Brody Lee sitting at a dinner table having a nice big steak with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. And he was like, I don't think you two get it yet. I don't think you two get the memo of the Dark Order and what we do around here. This is the new Dark Order, and I run things around here now as the Exalted One. Because we do what we want, when we want, to whoever we want. And they were all wearing suits, and Brody Lee was cutting his steak, and John Silver was eating his food, and Brody Lee got pissed off, and he kicked him out. And he told Alex Reynolds, you don't eat your food until I'm finished. So Brody Lee is eating his steak. A few minutes later, Alex Reynolds sneezes. Achoo. He sneezes. And Brody Lee stops eating. He says, get out. I know you know I don't like that. The Exalted One doesn't like when somebody sneezes in the same room. So he kicked out Alex Reynolds. And he's just calmly sitting there eating his steak. You know that was a shot at Vince. That was definitely a shot at Vince McMahon with Brody Lee getting mad when Alex Reynolds was sneezing. That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. And I laughed. And it got a lot of likes on my tweets, so... You know, my Twitter's been very active tonight. Thank you guys for live tweeting with me and all that stuff. It's very fun. Brody Lee versus QT Marshall. 5 minutes. Brody Lee dominated this match. He looked great. His ring attire looked great. Tony Schiavone was putting over how big he looked. Cody was putting over how everybody knows who Brody Lee is. They know his talent. They know what he could do in the ring. And lots of people know him by a different name, but now he's Brody Lee in AEW. Talking about Luke Harper in WWE. And Brody Lee is already killing it as the Exalted One of the Dark Order. He's doing a great job, and I can't wait to see what they do next. And then we had Sammy Guevara versus Kenny Omega for the AAA World Championship. And this was awesome. This was a awesome match between Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega, and the crowd would have loved this match if they saw it live. And the match would have been even better if there was a crowd, in my opinion. Sometimes a crowd can make a match or break a match, and did this match have an effect that there was no crowd there? Absolutely it did. It absolutely did. And times like this, these guys needed a crowd. I'm not saying the match was horrible. It was nowhere near bad. The match was awesome. But the crowd would have played a huge factor into this match. That's all I'm saying. But Sammy Guevara, he has these poster boards outside the barricade. He's got posters. What it says, I'm here, Captain. And the other one is Brandy Rhodes. And then Kenny makes his entrance. And it's very slow in the beginning. They're fighting on the outside. Sammy goes up to kiss Brandy Rhodes. Brandy moves. And then he throws Kenny into the barricade. And Sammy goes over to the Brandy Rhodes poster. And he starts making out with the Brandy Rhodes poster. That was priceless. And Brandy Rhodes' facial reaction was funny. And it's going to be a GIF on Twitter. And you know people are going to be using that stuff so much. I already used it in the tweet. I said, what made you react? What kind of... God. Stuttering my words. I said, what moment made you ever feel like this? And it was Brandy Rhodes going like that. So I made that. 27 likes, 5 comments, and 2 retweets. That tweet was pretty good. This match was slow in the first few minutes, and they paced it up, which I like. I really like that. It's not going full-blown speed the entire time. They're going slow, wrist locks, headlocks, elbows, fighting on the outside, and then boom, they got right into it, and this was fantastic stuff. Kenny Omega hit 4 V-triggers onto Sammy Guevara. Sammy actually hit his finisher on Kenny Omega. He's got him on top of his shoulders, lands him on his feet, and gives him the knee to the face. Kenny kicked out at 2. So Kenny kicked out at Sammy Guevara's finisher, and then Kenny just gave him a knee strike. He got out of the way for the V-trigger, as Sammy rolled him up. Kenny kicked out. Kenny gave him a V-trigger, and then the one-winged angel out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. This match was awesome. I would probably give it 4, maybe 4.25 stars. The only reason I would give it 4 is because there was no crowd. But besides that, I mean, this was awesome. 2 great wrestlers for the World Championship of AAA. I knew this was going to be a great match. And this was one of the best Sammy Guevara matches I've ever seen. And Sammy Guevara's had a lot of great matches in AEW. He's had Cody um, Darby Allin, he's had Moxley, he's had Dustin Rhodes, he's had Hangman Page, um, a lot of guys. And, since Dynamite launched, one of the guys who has really, really improved and impressed me every time I watch him is Sammy Guevara. Um, I could see him, honestly, being the first ever AEW mid card champion. I would not mind that. Sammy Guevara would kind of fit perfect in that role, being the cocky champion, walking around um, with the belt, and having guys like Darby Allin go after him. I think that could be perfect. And he's got a great YouTube channel as well. So Sammy Guevara is doing great things in AEW, and he's really impressing me every time I see him in the ring. This was early in the show, but we got a update on Nick Jackson, and it was Nick Jackson working out in his garage, and we got an update from Vanguard 1, who flew to the Jackson's house, and Nick Jackson walked up to Vanguard 1, and Vanguard 1 backed away because you have to stay 6 feet away from people now with this virus going around. And Vanguard 1 confirmed that Nick Jackson is 61% cleared. So Nick Jackson almost making a return to AEW. The creativity with AEW in this segment, man, and in the Chris Jericho Matt Hardy segment. Let's actually talk about that right now. So we got Chris Jericho in the ring. No microphone. He's probably got a microphone attached to his mouth. He said, last week we had 2 great debuts for All Elite Wrestling. Obviously, Brody Lee debuted as the Exalted One of the Dark Order, and we got Matt Hardy, who came out to save the Elite. He knows Matt is in the building, and he wants Matt to come out right now. And who comes out instead? Vanguard 1, Matt Hardy's drone. And yes, people, Chris Jericho actually cut a promo on Vanguard 1. Unbelievable. This was hilarious and awesome at the same time. So Chris is like, hey there, Vanguard. I see that you're related with Matt Hardy. You want to know what I think about you? I think you're a piece of shit. I think you're trash. I think you're stupid. I think you don't deserve to be with Matt Hardy. You shouldn't exist. But I do have a lot of respect for you. And with your flying abilities, I'm going to give you an offer to the Inner Circle. So, Matt Hardy offers Vanguard 1 to come to the Inner Circle. Freaking hilarious, man. Chris Jericho's the GOAT. So then Vanguard flies away. We see Matt Hardy all the way in the upper level of Daly's place. So he's in the upper level, and then he goes to the second level, and then he's in the lower level. He goes from the left side to the right side, right by the barricade, and he walks into the ring. And he said, "Maker of pain, I knew you'd come." So he said, "Yeah, I know you'd come too. Because we booked this segment tonight between me and you. And I want to know why you would want to back up the stupid Elite." So Matt Hardy said, "I had to give the Bucks of Youth a favor, and I had to back up the Elite against the Inner Circle." So then he said, "Okay, he wanted to give. He said mistakes happen, and he wanted to offer Matt Hardy a spot in the inner circle. So Matt Hardy says no, of course. He says, I'm here to stick with the elite and my broken brilliance. And he said, good, we can have your broken brilliance in the inner circle. And he mentioned how he is 3,000 years old or something like that. Some hilarious stuff from Matt Hardy. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And then Jericho talks about, as my phone is blowing up right now, how Matt Hardy has been foreshadowed in recent months. He said he's been foreshadowed by his younger brother, obviously Jeff Hardy, bad booking, and now Le Champion. And there was some really funny catchphrases that Matt Hardy threw in here as well. Instagram drone models, that's what Jericho said. Bubbly into the gas tank, teleportation, and hole of the ass. So he's obviously calling him an asshole, but he's calling him hole of the ass. That was funny. I chuckled a little bit right there too. So he's saying that he's overshadowed. And do you want to join the elite or the inner circle? And Matt Hardy says delete. And then Jericho says elite. Hardy says delete. Elite, delete, you get it. So then Jericho says, I have to slap the taste out of your mouth. Jericho slaps him, and then Hardy punches Jericho, and Jericho goes to the floor. And Jericho says, wow, one punch, and I'm laying on the floor. And I have my magic as well. Matt Hardy turns around, and he gets attacked by Sammy Guevara. So then Jericho, Sammy Guevara, they attack Matt Hardy. Kenny Omega, Cody come in with chairs, and they hit Jericho and Sammy Guevara, and then Jericho and Guevara are trying to go to the back, and there's fire flames going up, and they get scared. So that was the way Dynamite closed tonight. Chris Jericho versus Matt Hardy, man. I'm already into the feud just after one segment with them. And it's going to be Chris Jericho versus Matt Hardy at Double or Nothing if it doesn't get canceled. And that's going to be amazing in its own right. This was television gold. This will be one of the best segments that you will ever see in 2020 in pro wrestling. Believe me on that. This stuff was unbelievable. This was fantastic. And that was the way Dynamite closed. Guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We got lots of content up for you guys. We're going to have lots of content this week. Like I said earlier, go check out the Monday Night Raw review from this past Monday. Comment down below what you thought of tonight's episode of ADW Dynamite. Good or bad. Quite frankly, I thought this show was great tonight, man. Second week in a row, AEW has given us 2 great hours of television. Like this video with a super kick. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. Follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins515. Guys, I will see you guys right here on the Big Fight Field channel tomorrow for your NXT review. Speaking of NXT, I'm about to go watch half of it right now. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe. Wash your hands.